Hey guys, it's Julia, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 most anticipated books coming out in 2018. So I'm going to get right into this. I do actually have all the arcs for these 5 books that I'm going to be talking about today, and so I will actually be showing you the book, and yeah, let's just get right into this video. So the first book that I am really excited about that is coming out in 2018 is Dating Disasters of Emma Nash by Chloe Segar, and this book is about a girl who goes through an awful breakup, and she kind of does some stalking of her boyfriend and does some not showering because who does she need to impress whenever she's single? So she ends up dabbling in some blogging about this topic and about her newly single status and kind of taking to the online world to kind of get over this breakup, but she ends up stumbling over her mom's online dating page and she ends up getting catfished and she ends up dissing on her ex online, which kind of backfires in her face. The story sounds like a cute little coming of age story, you know, the one where the girl gets dumped and then she kind of has to discover herself and who she is and has to figure out that maybe having a guy in her life doesn't necessarily mean that that's who she is, and she needs to figure out who she is without a guy. And I love those kinds of stories, so I'm totally psyched to get into this one. The next one on my list is one that was actually supposed to come out last year but didn't end up getting published last year. It's going to get published next year, and I think there was some controversy around this book that it might have pushed off the publication of it, but I'm not really for sure. And that is The Continent by Kiera Drake. This one is about this girl who lives in the society where war has basically been eradicated, and she lives in a completely peaceful area. There's no violence, there's no war, it's just completely peaceful. But they have this place called the Continent where there are 2 groups of people who are at war and they're constantly in a state of violence. And basically the reason why they have this continent is for entertainment, and people can go over to this continent to watch this war take place and watch the violence that takes place on this continent. The main character in the story is someone who makes maps, and she thinks that by going to the continent she'll be able to better her map making skills or further the map that she's working on. But then while she's there and she's on the helicopter observing the land, an accident happens which leaves her stranded without food or water or anybody else with her, and she has to figure out how to live or survive in this war-stricken area. She really has no knowledge about violence or war or how to stay out of it, and she just kind of has to figure out how to survive in this foreign craziness. This book sounds amazing. It's such a new concept that I haven't really heard of, and I'm so excited to get into this book. The next book that I'm super excited for is Sinless by Tarkoff, and this one was actually sent to me specifically from the person that I work with for picking books for my boxes, and she said that this was one of her favorite reads so far for next year's books that are coming out. And so I read the back of it. It just sounds super cool. It is about this world where everybody is beautiful, but if you do something, you commit a sin or you do a crime or something along those lines, you get bestowed upon yourself a deformity which turns you ugly. So Grace, the main character in the story, is just trying to live like a normal teenager, but she's faced with a series of decisions that could risk the lives of the people that she loves. The story's supposed to be very thought-provoking, and it's supposed to make you really think. So I'm all about that. I'm all about those books that really give you the feels and really make you make you think about what you're taking for granted in your everyday life. So this one is going to be great. I just know it. Next book I'm going to be talking about is The Traitors Print. This is part of the Ravenspire series. It is the 3rd one, but you don't have to read the other books to read this one. They're not corresponding books. You can read this one without reading the first 2. The first one I believe was The Shadow Queen, and the second one was The Wish Granter, and this is the 3rd one. And this one is about a prince who goes to this boarding school, and there's this person who decides to pretend to be him, and then this person who's pretending to be him tries to assassinate him, but the prince lives, but he ends up getting imprisoned, and that sounds like impregnated. That's really weird. He gets imprisoned and he has to compete in this competition to win a viewing with the king so that he can prove to the king that he is actually the prince and not this imposter. So this sounds amazing. Sounds right up my alley. I've heard that CJ Redwine is an amazing author, so I cannot wait to get into this. The last book I'm going to talk about is one that has been getting a lot of hype already, and I've seen a ton about it on Twitter, and it is, I believe it's a debut novel by Tomi Adeyemi, and the book is Children of Blood and Bone. This one is about a girl whose village is attacked and her mother is killed during the attack, and the magic is stolen from her village, and she has to go and try to get the magic back from this monarchy that is kind of taken over and wants to eradicate magic altogether. But the main character kind of struggles to manage her own powers, and it's supposed to have a lot of like diversity and kind of graze on some very important topics among the YA community, and I'm really excited to get into this. It is really a big book. It's a chunker, and I think that the actual books are normally a lot bigger than the actual arcs themselves, so I bet this book is like huge. Like, how many pages is this right now? 600 pages! This book is 600 pages! Holy cow! That's a biggin! That's a biggin! Okay, so there are my top 5 most anticipated reads for 2018. I want to get into some of these before 2018, but chances are I won't get around to them because I have a lot of books to read for the holiday adventure-a-thon and so on and so forth. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these books that are coming out and which ones you are really excited to read. Also, if there are any other books that you are really excited to read that are coming out in 2018, I would love to hear about those as well. And I'm talking really fast. I don't know why. So I'm gonna slow it down just a little bit. Slow it down. Slow it down. Anyway, so if you like this video, please like and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys next time.